Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. Goodness gracious. It is Tuesday, and we are the 25th of May. Today's a great day for me. It's my anniversary. We've been married for 9 years now and been together, let me think, 10, 11 years. So I've been together 11 years, married 9. So that's a good day for me. We'll see how much work I get done today. Today may not be that productive. I'm going to try to get some stuff done. I want to welcome everybody here. If you're new, please do me a favor and subscribe. I need 14 subscribers right now to hit that 5,000 mark. So if you would kindly subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a video. I want to welcome everybody in here. That chat box is all for you. It's for you to ask questions. Every day I have kind of an agenda. Today I'm going to talk about mentors. But if you have anything else you want to ask about starting, running, and growing online businesses, put that in that chat section there. I'll be happy to answer all of it for you. And I want to welcome you. Let's see here. Congratulations, you two. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a dinner planned for this French restaurant, which means I guess I'm going to pay a lot of money and get small portions, but I'm sure it'll be good. It's really all about the company. The food is just secondary. It really is. So yeah, and today I've got to finish my funnel. I think I'm going to do a VSL for an upsell to my Survival Academy. Which will be the upsell for selling some of our canned meats. We've got a lot of packing still to do. We're trying to get ready for our move to Texas. The house is getting closer. I got an email yesterday that they're going to put the final coat of paint on the inside, so that's getting real close. So yeah, everything's looking really good there. We're pretty happy about all that. And I'm happy to see you guys. I mean, every morning it's great to see you guys show up here to listen to what I got to say. I'm missing James today. Where is James at? James Breen. I don't see you out here, buddy. I'll mention your group at 6 p.m. in my other group. Thank you so much, Richard. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just need 14 subscribers, and I'm sure I'm going to need more after that. But right now I'm going for 14 subscribers so that I can hit that 5,000 mark and become YouTube branded. It used to be called FameBit. I forget what they call it now. But it's basically for endorsements and that type of thing. So guys, let's talk about mentors. Let's talk about mentors today. And it's funny. I've been online, for many years, but once I started training people on how to make money online, I started getting more and more people that wanted me to be their mentor. Okay. And it's kind of interesting that people will see a stranger and they'll say, hey, I want that person to tell me what to do. I was never big on mentors. I got to tell you, it's never been my thing. I've had people I listen to. I have not had really a one-on-one mentor that guided me through anything. And I will share with you that even though this is about mentoring today, you don't need one to be successful. You don't. However, I know some of you like the idea of this. And it really doesn't have an end game, okay? It's an ongoing process that really requires you kind of checking your ego at the door. Because a lot of people think they know so much. And it's funny, every time I get at a gathering or something and somebody wants to learn from me, they end up talking more than they ever let me talk. And they'll tell me all the things they're going to do and all the things they've done and all the things they've accomplished. And I don't know what they're trying to do by doing this. Maybe just prove to me how great they are. But I want to share a story with you. Here's a story I want to share with you. This is an old Zen koan about an aspiring swordsman who approaches a master. Okay, and I'm going to read to you their conversation. It says, "How long would it take me to become a great master under you?" he asks. And the master says, 10 years. He says, "I don't have that long. I want to be good soon. What if I worked very hard and dedicated myself completely to the task?" He says, "Okay, 30 years. But that's even longer," the student says with some perplexity. "I'm telling you, I am in a hurry." And so the master replies, "Precisely. Students in a hurry end up taking longer to learn what is right in front of them." I think that's so true, and I liken that to the conversation I say where the person I'm talking to will often talk more than I do, and they do that. I don't know for what reason. I don't know. I know if there's somebody I admire and I think they've got a lot of knowledge, I'm going to shut up. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Students have been missing the point of mentorship for centuries. Okay, and in the beginning, I probably did too. A couple less forgiving mentors and a couple situations breaking down different ways of doing things, I ended up blowing my first opportunities. I know that in people I met. Regardless, almost every day I get these emails, I get these messages of young people who want a mentor. And I think the first start should be a parent. I tried to mentor my kids and do the best I could. I didn't know it all, obviously, but I did the best I could there. And the cool thing about that now is they come back to me and they still ask for advice, which is really humbling to me that they would even come and ask me or even talk to me, and ask me for advice, but they do. And I think, a mentor is somebody that kind of finds you. You don't find them. So let me go through some of the steps here. Number one, mentoring is something you do, not something you get. So that's kind of a backwards way of thinking about this. In other words, like all relationships, this is a process. It's not an accomplishment. A mentor is flexible and often informal relationship that can vary from person to person, from field to field. You might even refer to yourself as an apprentice after the fact. But it looks nowhere like this official mentorship that you're thinking about. Yeah, while you're looking for mentorship, never actually use that word. Okay, when people say I want you to be my mentor, I kind of cringe. I'm like, I don't even want to hear that. Don't ask anyone to be your mentor. Don't talk about mentorships. No one goes out and asks someone they're attracted to be their boyfriend or girlfriend. They just don't do that. It's kind of creepy in a way. That's like a label that's eventually applied to something that develops over time. But you don't just go up and say, be my mentor. It's a weird thing, okay? A mentorship is the same way. It's not a dance. It's not a contractual agreement. It just kind of evolves when somebody's helping somebody out. I've mentored a lot of people over the years, but it was never like, I'm going to be your mentor. It was like, hey, you need help with that project. I'll help you out. Or, hey, I saw your sales page. I've got some suggestions there. That's more of what's going to happen in life. So you've got to quit this idea of, I want to go find a mentor that's going to walk me through all the steps and I'm going to be successful. It ain't going to happen. That's not like that, okay? Anything that would be even close to that would be if you hired a consultant, which is a whole different type of relationship. Let me get a sip here real quick. So I want you to think of it that way. Number two, here's the important part. Give as much as you get, if not more. To quote Sheryl Sandberg, we need to stop telling young people, get a mentor and you'll excel. Instead, we need to tell them, excel and you will get a mentor. Nothing could be truer. When I was doing coaching, I never really said, I want to go out and get a bunch of people to coach. I went out and found people who were really looking like they were going to be successful or had already been successful. And the reason I wanted successful people is I know they would continue to be successful. I knew whatever I contributed to them, they would actually use, they would apply, and they would be successful. And heck, it would make me look good, right? So I don't want people who have never accomplished anything. I don't want to help those people. I just don't want to, because I don't know that they're ever going to do anything I say. As a matter of fact, 99.9% of the people never do anything. You can't believe how many people buy my courses and never even watch the videos, let alone apply the information. The people that buy the course is one group. The people that actually watch some of the videos is another group. The people that watch all the videos is another group. The people that watch all the videos and actually apply some of this stuff is another group. And the people that buy the course, watch all the videos and apply all the stuff, that's a very small portion of people. It's a very small portion of people. So figure out what you can offer a mentor, okay? So that you can become a mutual, not lopsided exchange. Let me see, some of the pillar of entrepreneurship is to learn to give before ever taking. 100%. That's true in life. I think that's a really life lesson. Always give before you take. Executives, entrepreneurs, and creatives are always looking for the next big thing. They want to help you succeed because along the way you can help them. Okay, so if I mentor somebody who's working hard and doing what they're supposed to do, they're going to make me even look better, and I'm going to learn because while I'm trying to help them, I'm learning stuff. Even if it's just energy that you're bringing to the table, okay? I mean, some people don't even have energy. Even if it's just thanks and satisfaction, but you've got to bring something to the table. You can't just be a person there, okay? You've got to be contributing to that mentor. The mentor cannot want your success for you more than you want it for yourself. And I see that a lot when I was coaching people, is that I'd want them to really be successful, and I would assign tons of work to them. And a lot of times they just didn't do anything. And they'd say, well, I got busy and I was doing this. I'm like, I don't even want to hear that. They would say, well, I got some stuff going on in my life. That is the stupidest statement I've ever heard. You know, when I was managing salespeople, I used to hear that a lot. I've got some personal things I'm dealing with. Who doesn't have personal things they're dealing with? Tell me. Who is it in the world that doesn't have personal things they're dealing with? Our whole life is personal things that we've got to deal with. So saying that as an excuse for not doing what you're supposed to be doing is crazy. It's a crazy thing to say. You better show up every day hungry. You better be dedicated. You better be eager to learn, and you better not have excuses. Okay? You're never going to attract a mentor with excuses. You know, different things like articles and links to information can benefit your mentors. What are you bringing to them that you think would help them out? You are less busy than they are, generally. A mentor is a pretty busy person. So your time is better spent looking and searching for some of the information that you need help with. Also, having other mentorships and pursuing your own interest on the side, I think, is important. I mean, you don't have to have one person helping you out. You can have 4 or 5 different people helping you out. I know on any given day, you know, there's people that I help out on a daily basis. It could be my wife with her business. It could be a friend who's working on their business. It can be an unrelated business. I went to dinner the other night with a couple people, really good friends of mine, and his wife is negotiating the sale of her business, and I was helping her negotiate the sale of her business. And I consider that a mentorship. I was telling her how she ought to approach it. Now, in this situation, she couldn't use it because some things came into play, but that's mentoring, okay? And then maybe next time we go out to dinner, she'll mentor me in something. I don't know. But good morning, James. There you are. JR, internet service out until a couple minutes ago. Man, we're missing you. I was actually saying, where's James at? So if you go back to the beginning of the video, you're going to hear that. Let's see here. Richard says, if the mentor takes one step, you have to take one step. Never expect them to take 2 steps. It's understanding what taking action is all about. 100%. You got to do something. You know, I would often ask people I was coaching, I said, what did you get done? Well, let me tell you what I'm working on. Now, I don't want to hear what you're working on. What did you get done? What did you complete? Well, I'm working on this, I'm working on this, I'm working on... No, what did you get complete? What one thing did you complete? And that's the thing I would tell you, is you need to complete things. If a mentor, let's say you get a mentor, and don't call them that, by the way. If you get somebody to help you out, make sure that you're always showing them that you're moving forward, that you're getting ahead. That will also motivate them, okay? So it comes to my next thing here is keep your problems to yourself. Number 3, keep your problems to yourself. Passion can be a form of insanity and dysfunction because it makes people selfish and emotional. A lot of young people will get upset when they read this, excuse me, and it is these very words that I would want you to work with. They're likely too sensitive to take feedback when they're young. It's really weird. It's like, you know, somebody gave me some suggestions the other day, and they said, I hope you don't take offense by this. And I just laughed. I'm like, I quit taking offense when I was in my 40s. And the funny thing is, as you get older, you start to realize that everybody else's opinion is just that. It's just an opinion. I don't care what people think. I really don't. I mean, it's nice when they give me a compliment and all that. Makes me feel good for a second. Doesn't change what I'm going to do. So it's really important that you keep all your problems to yourself. A typical youthful insanity is sending out, let's say, a 3,000-word emails at 2 a.m. You know, it's embarrassingly something that somebody who doesn't have any life experience would do. It's hiding your mistakes. That's another thing that young people do. They hide their mistakes because they're scared. They're scared of getting judged. It's quitting because you failed behind, or you've fallen behind what you were supposed to do. Don't feel discouraged because things aren't working out. Don't argue with feedback. I had that a lot, when I would give people, 5 or 6 things that they needed to do, and they would say, well, this doesn't work and I've tried it, this doesn't work and I've tried it. And I would want to say, hey, maybe you didn't do it right. Maybe that was it. Maybe that's your problem. You aren't doing it right and you're not listening right now. That's a big problem. These are weak emotions. If you indulge them and you start telling yourself, well, I've tried to sell online and it isn't working. I mean, that's the most absurd thing in the world. Think about that. I've tried to sell online and it doesn't work. Well, how in the world does the internet exist then if it doesn't work? You're just doing it wrong. Well, I wrote emails and emails don't work. Well, why are so many emails out there? Why are there email companies? Could it be that you're doing it wrong? You need to check your ego at the door. You really do. Your personal life and what you got going on is irrelevant. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, you don't understand my situation. No, I don't. And it doesn't matter what your situation is because everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. So I don't care that your situation is different. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, guys. Your situation and your personal problems don't matter. James threw something in here real quick. I was getting on a roll here, but let's see what he's got to say. James, let me check my weather here. He says it's going to be 93 today. Summer has hit there. We've only got 84, but we are going to be sunny. I didn't forget to smash the like button. Yeah, guys, don't forget, smash that like button. Hit that like button there. I only need 14 subscribers, by the way. So if you would subscribe, I would appreciate it too. So another thing you need to do, guys, is as you're going through this process, I would say step back and see what's going on. See what you've done. See what time you've wasted. You are not going to go find a mentor. You're not. A mentor is going to find you. I can't count how many times I went to a meeting or a meetup or a cruise or whatever, and they were a bunch of business people, and I saw somebody working on something, and I looked at it and I was like, man, I could help them with that. I see they're really eager and they're working hard. I can help them with that. And I became their mentor because, and it wasn't really like, I want to be your mentor. It wasn't that type of thing. It was like, hey, I think I can help you out with that. I went through that once before, and I see that you're a really eager, energetic person. And if you change this one thing, I think you get some really good results. And I would work with them on it. I've had people look at my stuff and say, hey, that sales page, I went to it and, here's what I noticed. And they would tell me something. And that could be somebody who's a lot older than me. It could be somebody who's a lot younger than me. It could be somebody with a lot more experience than me. It could be somebody with less experience than me. Don't get in this pigeonhole. I've had mentors that were 19 years old that taught me things. Okay? Don't get in this pigeonhole because you're older, you know more. You may know more. I'm not saying you won't. You may be more emotionally mature. That doesn't mean you know more. Okay? So I don't care what age somebody is. I don't care what country they're from. I don't care what nationality they are. I don't care if they're male or female. If they are good in an area, they can help me with it, I'm going to listen, right? I have a friend, Sarah Crisp, and you can check out her channel here on YouTube. It's Wholesale Ted. And she's amazing with YouTube channels. She's in her early 20s. Well, she's probably not now, probably mid-20s now. But I did an interview with her on her channel. She sold some of my products. She was an affiliate for me. And I learned from her. I learned what she was doing on her channel. And she was, I think, 24, 25 at the time, and, I was in my 50s. So it doesn't matter. You've got to quit going, oh, that person is older, so they're going to know a whole lot more. Not necessarily. Now, sometimes they do. I'm not saying they don't. But you got to quit thinking of mentors the way you've been thinking about them before. It's not going out and finding this all-knowing being that's going to teach you everything and it's going to make you successful. Nobody, let me repeat this, nobody is going to make you successful. Nobody. You are the one that's responsible for being successful. Some people can contribute information that you can use and apply and work on. But think about this. That same information could be given to 20 people, and 19 of them could do nothing with it, or do it incorrectly, or quit doing it and not be successful. And only one of them could take that information and maybe do something with it. So it's really up to you. It's not up to the mentor. There's no such thing as a bad or a good mentor. It's just somebody who's trying to help you out. Okay, that's all it really is. Now, when I was coaching, obviously I charged for it, and I charged a lot for it. I started off charging $495 a month, and you get 2 phone calls a month, and then I went to $14.95, and then I went to $2,500, And then at the end, when I was doing my mentoring, I got tired of doing it, but I was charging $2,000 an hour. $2,000 an hour. And you say, well, what could you have that's so useful that would be worth $2,000 an hour? I don't know, but they paid me. This was a major company, credit card processing company, and what I gave them worked. So, you know, this mentor thing that you've been thinking about is not the way you've been thinking about it. It's just not. Let me read some of your comments here real quick. Let's see here. I've been informed that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That has never been truer. And I know it's corny and it's an old saying and all that stuff, but it's so true. It's like, you know, a lot of people want help. And just because you want help doesn't mean a mentor is going to show up. You've got to be ready. You've got to look like somebody that somebody wants to mentor. You've got to look like this energetic person who's really working hard, who's determined, who's going to succeed whether that mentor shows up or not. The mentor wants to jump in there and help you because they know they can be part of that. That's what the mentor really wants to do. They want to be part of your success. They already see that you're going to be successful. When people look at you right now, do they go, oh my God, that person, that man, that woman, that team is going to be really super successful. I'd love to be on their bandwagon with them. I would love to. Is that the image that you're portraying? Or are you a desperate person going, I don't know what to do. I wish somebody would tell me everything to do. And then I could do it. Because nobody wants to help that person. Nobody wants to help desperation. People want to help inspiration and hardworking, successful people. That's the kind of person I want to, you know, mentor. Somebody who I know is going to actually do something. Let's see. I'm in big trouble if I can't learn from young people. James, nothing could be truer, right, buddy? I mean, I know that for a fact. Learn from all people, you know. There are people, hey, Tyan, what's going on? There are people in all age categories that know how to do things you don't, 100%. Toddlers, young kids have a way of teaching curiosity and being 100% unfiltered. For example, that's a very well put way of saying that. That's very true. You know, kids, you know, I trained salespeople for years, and I think over the years, we learn to accept the word no. It's a shame. And it's a disease of salespeople where they accept the word no. Somebody was trying to sell me a program the other day, and I gave them one objection, and they were like, okay. They didn't even try to overcome the objection. And I thought of several ways they could overcome my objection. And I'll probably still buy the product on down the road. But the point was they didn't have a clue. I just said, I can't because of this conflict and this date. Now, they could have said, well, I can get you in the program. You can start later into it, and then we have another program starting, and you can pick up the beginning when you go into the next program, and I can go ahead and get you signed up today. But they didn't do that. And they do have that offer, by the way. And I thought, wow, you know, this person is a terrible salesperson. A little kid, and he was just saying toddlers can teach you something. How many times is a little kid going to ask for something? I mean, it's incessant. They're going, can I? They don't know to accept no because that's not the answer they wanted. That's not the answer they wanted. Now, we as salespeople, we go, well, that's not the answer I want either, but they said no, what else can I do? Well, figure out why they said no. What is it about the no? What can you change about the no? What can you do? As we get older, we sometimes fall into the trap of accepting no. You got to step back and see that there's more to it, okay? You know, if you don't get a mentor, that doesn't mean you can't be successful. That's another thing I would tell you. It's the person who looks like they don't need a mentor that's going to attract one. The person that looks like they're going to succeed in the face of everything that's going wrong. You know, like I would love to mentor Elon Musk, right? I mean, wouldn't I look like a hero if I mentored Elon Musk? Wouldn't I look like a hero if I mentored David Goggins? If you don't know who David Goggins is, you need to look him up. Because I know those people are going to keep going forward no matter what. No matter what I tell them to do, if it's good information, they're going to take it and run with it. That's the kind of person I want to mentor. And that's how you're going to attract somebody who is a mentor or somebody who wants to help you. That's how you're going to do it. You know, and I can only help really hardworking, well-adjusted, dependable people, okay? That's the kind of person I can help. I can't help somebody who has a lot of personal problems. Because we all have personal problems, but the person who tells me they have personal problems are the ones that tell me that they can't handle life. They can't handle personal problems. That means they can't handle life. I've got stuff that goes on every single day. I've had some, really horrible things in life, and so is my wife, and so is a lot of people I know. But the really successful people just keep moving forward. It doesn't matter. They just keep moving forward. It's irrelevant to them. So the more time you spend on really trying to be successful, the better your chances of a mentor showing up. The better the chances of somebody looking at you going, man, I like the path you're on. Can I walk down that with you? I would love to walk down that path with you, because, man, you're going to get there no matter what. I'd like to be part of that. Is that the kind of person you are, or do you look desperate? Do you look like the person that's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what direction. Gosh, if somebody doesn't come along soon, I'm just going to shrivel up and die. That's the kind of people that normally approach me. It's a shame. It's a shame. They don't get it. They don't get that looking desperate will not attract a mentor. Looking successful will. And you may say to yourself, well, JR, I'm not successful yet. I haven't succeeded yet. Well, why don't you try? Why don't you try? Why don't you just keep trying thing after thing after thing? Why don't you stay motivated? Why don't you keep working? Why don't you keep getting up early and staying up late? Why don't you start taking shorter lunches and really putting effort into it? And then you'll get it. It's kind of like, and my wife and I were looking at it the other day because we were watching a movie, and this person who was very wealthy was getting comped a free meal and free transportation and all this. You're going to get all these things you need when you look like you don't need it. Let me repeat that. You're going to get all these things you need when you look like you don't need it. People want to give free things to rich people, right? So if you're rich in attitude, if you're rich in effort, if you're rich in desire, you're going to get that stuff from other people. That's how it works. If you're desperate, right? The beggar on the street ends up with leftovers, right? The beggar ends up with leftovers. What other people have left over, a very small amount of nothing, okay? Poor people pay higher interest rates. They get ripped off more. They pay higher rent. There's so many things that are going against them. And they think it's the outside. It's not. It's the inside. It's what you're projecting. Are you projecting that you are needy? If you're very needy, nobody wants you, okay? It's the same thing in a relationship. If a guy's trying to meet a girl and he's very needy, I'll take any girl I can get. Or a girl says, I'll take any husband that will marry me. You're very needy. It doesn't look good. It's not attractive, okay? Who are you? Take a checkup from the neck up. That's what we used to tell the salespeople. Take a checkup from the neck up. Who are you really? And the thing is, no matter who you are right now, you can change it tomorrow. You can change it this afternoon. You can change it right after this video. You can change it. Some of you are watching this video and you're not participating now. You're not putting anything in the chat, right? It's time to change. It's time to type something in there and say, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm going to do. Let me express how motivated I am, what my desires are. I'm going to put it in the chat. Or are you just going to sit back? Are you going to sit back and watch the world go by? That's what most people do. They sit back and watch. Let me read some of your comments. You got some good ones. All right, let's see. I always say, this is Richard Brown, that when you're successful, that's down to you, and if you fail, that's down to you too. Yeah, of course. Everything is up to us, isn't it? Everything is. James Breen, excuse me. I knew a sales lady that claimed the sale didn't begin until the prospect said no. Interesting way of putting that. Let's see here. And I always thought the close started at the beginning, because I always brought up the objections in the beginning of the sale. Whatever objections I thought they would have, I would bring them up. I never hid from them, because if you hide from them, if you try to ignore them, they still exist. They still exist. Let's say your price is higher than everybody else's. In the beginning of the sale, if you ignore that, in their mind, they're going, man, this is an expensive item. They may never say it to you. And you may think, well, I didn't lose the sale because of price. They never even mentioned price. That doesn't mean they're not thinking about it. So if I've got the highest price in the market, I may start off with, look, it may look like I've got the highest price in the market, but let me explain to you what my product does that nobody else's does. And when you see what it does, you'll understand that really, even though my price looks higher, it's much cheaper. That's how I would handle price, okay? So whatever your product is, whatever your service is, there are objections. You need to look at your product or service and say, what are the objections? Same thing with a mentorship. Why is it that somebody would not want to help me? Why is it that somebody would not come along and look at me and say, hey, I want to help that person? What can you change? Because you can change anything. You can literally change anything. Let's see here. Richard Brown, dependable. That's a nugget from today. Yes, be dependable. Oh my God, beyond dependable. And you guys are dependable. You show up every day. You know, I try to be dependable. I try to show up every day. I don't start at 5 minutes after 9. I don't start 10 minutes before 9. I start at 9. That's what I told you. I want you to depend on that. I want you to go, yeah, I depend on that. I want to have information that when you leave the session today, you go, I can use that. That's something I can use. I didn't waste my time with JR. I didn't waste my time again. Okay, I don't want to waste my time. Your time is valuable as crap, guys. I owe it to you. Yeah, and you said, well, you're just doing it for free. You don't owe us anything. No, I owe it to you because it's time. Time is not free. Your time's not free. If you're listening to me right now, it's not free. You've taken it from something else. And if I don't provide you with something of value, then I've done you a disservice. So I think that's important. I mean, I study before I do these things for you guys, right? I read, I look, I research. James Breen and Richard Brown, excellent points as well, Tyann says. James Breen, hi Tyann, happy to meet up with you. Guys, you guys are forming relationships. I think this is awesome. You know, introduce yourselves to each other. Who knows that one person in this chat is not going to help another? And I can tell you when it's not going to happen. It's when you don't participate. It's when you don't put anything in that chat, when you don't ever comment. They don't even know you exist. They don't know you're here, right? Make sure people know that you've shown up. When you go to a party, when you go to a meeting, whatever it is, make sure people know you were there. We're all so afraid of offending somebody or somebody making fun of us or somebody disliking us. Don't worry about it, right? I quit worrying about that in my 40s. Took me a while, but I did quit worrying about it. I don't care. You know, somebody's trying to give me constructive criticism, I'm certainly going to take it. If somebody's trying to tear me down and make me feel terrible, I just ignore it. It doesn't matter to me. It's just what they're doing. It doesn't affect me. It's not who I am, right? As far as objections that come up with chatbots, people may not see the value they provide. That's right. You're into chatbots, aren't you? Tyann Nelson is. And if you have a channel, guys, post in there that you have a channel and we'll check it out. We'll subscribe to it. People may not see the value they provide, but there is a place for both bots and email marketing. 100%. I agree with you. And I've used both. And I do agree. I don't think chat bots will take over everything. I don't think email can do everything. I don't think phone calls can do everything. I think there's a place for each one of these things and they're all going to exist. I agree with that. Happy to help. Great group and mentorship. Thank you so much, Richard. So I guess we're past. I went 2 minutes over. I don't know. Do I have a really time limit of 30 minutes? I don't know. Would I just make that up or something? Maybe I just made that up. I do want to thank you guys, each and every one of you. Love each and every one of you. I mean, just knowing that you're spending your time here means so very much to me. If you're new here, I would appreciate if you would ring the bell, right? Turn on all bell notifications, but you can't do that till you subscribe. It won't give you this option, okay? You have to hit that subscribe button down there. If you're watching this and it's no longer live, you can still put comments in the comment section. I come back by and answer those. I think I got all caught up yesterday. If I didn't answer a comment that you put, you know, let me know in this chat box here. But I did do that. My mission is to help you, JR, in whatever small way to be successful with your channel. Thank you so much, James. That means so much. That really, really does. That means the world to me. I really appreciate that. And Richard says the same thing. Happy to help. Great group mentorship. I just read that one. Full page chat box. Full page chat box. That's right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Got a lot of work to do today. Got my anniversary dinner. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much, guys. Love each and every one of you. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Let me switch over to my other screen so we can see what's going on. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.